I mean, how do you not murder her every day?
I do.
Hey,
the clip never gets old.
We're actually here this time, and hopefully you guys can hear us. Welcome to our show that we work so hard on. We do lots of prep, and it
doesn't
shows.
matter. It really doesn't. Konnichiwa, everyone.
I got that. We're good as far as Mark H is concerned, and that's good enough for me. Guys, welcome to the show. We're talking Perfect Blue because we are back to the list, and I'll be honest, I kind of missed it.
Yeah, no, it was a fun time getting to be like, oh, like the suspense of like what's coming next.
And we got an anime movie. So.
Yeah, and I do like how we all dressed accordingly. Lewis, you have a Japanese horror t-shirt on. Mike and I are both wearing our most perfect blue shirts.
No,
and Mike has a Spirited Away shirt.
I have an anime shirt on. It's a Spirited Away.
Well, I have a blue shirt on,
straight
so
up
there we go.
Weebs. I built Digimon over there. I spent hours building little tiny Lego modeled Digimon. All right, hours.
Lewis, those are Furbies.
No, not those. I built. I'm not saying that I built these out of Lego. Oh fuck! All right. We have to be serious now because we're watching a very serious movie. All right? Mike's been very nervous.
This is a lot of angles to cover with this movie. This is a very psychologically in-depth film that I feel like we need to give the respect that it deserves. Yeah, and we're way too dumb to do that.
Yeah, and I'm real fucked up. It's been a long week.
Well, this movie will have you real fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just roll the trailer? It's made by manga.
Who are you? Excuse me, who are you?
Mima was a pop star.
This is Mima's last performance with Chan.
Who desired to become an actress.
I really hope that I can entertain you just the same as an actress.
But sometimes aspirations can be deadly. In a world of make-believe,
this is when Mima proves herself.
The price of fame.
Don't worry, Mima, it'll be all right.
May not be worth the cost of identity.
Where did this come from? How do they know so much?
Innocence is lost. Dreams become nightmares. And privacy no longer exists. Where everything you do can be seen by everyone. And those you trust are really those you should fear. Your life no longer belongs to you.
Excuse me.
Manga Entertainment presents Satoshi Kon's animated psychological thriller, Perfect Blue.
Excuse me, who are you? Excuse me, who are you?
Guys, trailers used to just be like that all the time.
I don't think trailers used to be like that. I think anime trailers have just
No, dude, you didn't. Did you hear what was going on in there? Because the trailer voice guy was like, in a world where a girl tries to become an actress and everyone knows who you are. Like,
it is like, I don't know, like bad disaster movie parody from like a 2007 episode of SNL level of narration. It's pretty fucking insane. Guys, how did you watch it? So that was the trailer for the dub. But did you guys watch the dub or the sub?
You know what is...
No, so they only have the sub available on Prime, which I rented, but you can't watch the dub. But the dub is on YouTube. So I literally listened to the dub through my phone while syncing it up with the sub on my TV.
Like you're going to a museum.
Yeah, like I'm in a museum listening to some shitty translation.
Wow.
You know what was funny? Because on your Plex, which is through where I watched it.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and it was the subbed version, but I was listening. I was listening. Like I got like maybe 2 minutes into the movie, and then I noticed that somebody said "por favor," and I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I looked on the language, and it was the Spanish dub, so I had to change it back to the Japanese dub.
I don't know why the version I have on my Plex only has Spanish and Japanese. I've never seen that before. But
Proof that there is no perfect way to watch Perfect Blue.
I disagree.
I think the Japanese dub is because I don't.
From what I just heard in the trailer of the dub, holy
it doesn't
shit,
sound
that's
very
bad.
good. So I'm. This is why I'm an advocate for keeping things in their native language. I don't mind reading subtitles.
I mean, I just think do both and give everyone the option to do what they want.
But for this specific example of what we heard, I'm
Yeah,
it feels
it
like the
seems
dub would be the sub would be a better way to go. The original.
terrible. But I do think. Sorry, continue.
I also go into anime that there's no such thing as a good dub, so it's just all kind of a
I've
lost
heard
cause
a ton of
to
good
me.
dubs. There are good dubs
I think
out there.
like Studio Ghibli movies are always safe.
Maybe, but
Omarosa
they
in the
get
chat
like
says you got to sub always.
A-listers.
I like both. I don't know. I'm pretty ambidextrous as far as it goes. I do now, like when I start a show, I for the most part start with subs if I can. But I don't know, dubs don't bother me really in any particular way. I'm pretty okay with watching a dub, and there are some okay ones out there. Like the Attack on Titan dub is good enough.
I've been watching Neon Genesis dubbed.
Fucking weeb. Dumb fucking weeb. Get the fuck out of here. You stupid fucking weeb.
I mean, I have not seen.
Hey.
Dumb
Fucking
weeb.
weeb.
Who was just building Digimon Legos, you child?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me? You would know, you fucking weeb.
Oh yeah, you want to see?
Don't you dare touch him! Don't you touch Patamon! Look, his wings! His wings will fall off!
Mike, snap him! Snap him!
Hours of work! Hours!
So we're more passionate about your Lego Digimon than this movie.
No,
This is a 5 out of 5 fucking Kino masterpiece.
Yeah, honestly, like, cause I have seen this movie before, and I had always loved it. This time, I was like, I like it clicked. I was like something like it really spoke
I
to
liked
me,
it the
this one.
first time, and then this time I like really dug it.
But I think it's also because like I was trying to like pay more attention to like all of the thematics and like watching video essays and stuff.
And
the
knowing-
Super Eye Patch Wolf's video that he did on this episode, I think is like a really good like overview, and like some of the stuff that he gets into, like the Bjork stalker portion of that.
No, he's great. I love all of his shit. He does great videos, and I've like been pointed to so much great stuff from him. And I think actually it was that video that probably made me check this out in the first place. I'd always been aware of it. I always knew how much people love Satoshi Kon in his movies, but I never really dug deep into them.
Yeah. This is the only movie of his that I've actually seen. Have you delved into any more of his work other than this?
I watched half of Paprika, and I really liked it. I didn't stop watching it because I didn't like it. I just I don't know. I think I like take the dog out or something, and then I got distracted. But I was enjoying it. I have to give more of his stuff a chance. I have all of it, but I've been slow on the watching.
Yeah. So if we can get into Perfect Blue, so this movie is about a Japanese pop star.
Mike's ex-girlfriend.
Oh boy, I had to. We couldn't get through this episode specifically without bringing it up. Okay,
It's exactly the story of her life. She's
I know.
an anime character.
Wanted to become an actress, and then is dealing with severe imposter syndrome.
Okay, all right, we're getting too real.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So it's about a young pop idol in Japan who is trying to transition from being the lead of a trio called Cham, a J-pop trio, and into an actress. And that is taking a psychological toll on her, as the roles she's getting are not quite as wholesome as her life as a J-pop star. And there seems to be someone who is very intensely stalking her and hurting people around her.
Yeah, this movie it deals heavily in themes of loss of self-identity and like obsessive fan culture.
Yeah, I mean,
the harshness of the entertainment industry,
fan entitlement, which I think is the thing that
Yeah.
makes it like relevant now is the concept of fan entitlement and how just disgusting and ugly it gets, and then also just the general like misogyny that can be enacted by men in like a modern age with the internet,
with access to the internet,
Yeah.
and develop and then in the Super Eye Patch Wolf video, he brings up the Bjork incident that I alluded to earlier, where some obsessive fan was like obsessed with Bjork, and then once he found out that like she's not who she seems to be, she's not pure as he had envisioned. I think it was because she was dating a black guy. I think that was I looked more into it. That is why he turned on her. That's why he's like, she is not pure. She's not one of us. And then
Don't blame Super Eye Patch Wolf for not talking about that part.
Yeah, and so then he tried to mail her sulfuric acid so that it would kill her, and then he would kill himself so that way they could be together in the afterlife. He ended up killing herself. The package ended up getting diverted. But yeah, that's like a really kind of sick, fucked up, real instance, and at probably around the same time that this movie came out, of like an obsessive fan who feels entitled to the image, like they become so protective of like the image of their
of who they perceive this person to be, and you know, especially with the case of these J-pop idols that are such a carefully cultivated and like perfectly maintained image by, you know, whatever company is behind those groups. They live like under crazy restrictions and shit. Like,
yeah, because also that's
not really fun for them.
That same like entitlement over like the image of the pop star image. It's the kind of the same thing that the agent character, like her manager,
Yes,
like because she, in the scenes where like, you know, she has to like do degrading things on screen and you see her like she's crying, it's not because like she actually feels for the person that she's representing. It's like the brand image of her is being tarnished, and then by the end she like literally tries to become her to like maintain the purity of the image of the pop star.
So
idol
you took
character.
that as brand loyalty, like that was
Not
what
brand
was
loyalty,
driving
but
her?
no, it's not. It's like the manager, like, because she is like, you know, the agent for her, like the pop star idol Mima. Like she's in charge of like her image. So because of like her persona now becoming like more tarnished or moving more away from it because of the.
And she was
the
also a former J-pop star. Yeah. Like she had gone through everything that that the main character did. I can't think of her name now.
Mima.
What a ridiculously hard name to remember. So she was a former pop star, and she, I think, had to deal with like that following. Like that's why she took on the Mima persona and why she became so obsessed. Is I thought she was just reconciling her own like failed career and like aspirations.
Yeah, that could
and
be
that
it.
she couldn't have that. Wasn't she also? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't this character also her sister?
Not.
I had
No,
felt
not
like
her
that
sister.
was that Rumi. Okay,
Yeah, but
Maybe
I
that's
thought
something
for
in the
some
dub. I have
reason.
no
Yeah.
idea.
No, but I had saw it as that like, because the whole movie she's being haunted by like the images of like Mima the pop star like
Right.
floating around being like, haha, you're not good enough or whatever, you'll never be me. And it's like that same like self-doubt and like that's like forcing her to like remove herself from like that image. I think it was like, it's also like the agent over like, you know, taking on the role of Mima the pop star at the end is like kind of like retaking like that image, like the
Right.
pop star
Yes.
image.
I mean, it's
Right.
the idea of that is the, you know, that is the most wholesome, marketable version of her that is brand friendly and is comfortable with the people who are behind her essentially.
And that's why the
her
agent goes and
agents,
kills the photographer that took like those like nude photos of her, and then she kills. Was it
Well,
the
she
music
does
video
it-
director or no, the director of the rape scene, right?
She does it through an obsessed fan. Like she like the. So okay, so this is interesting because I seem to have
There
a very
are
different
points-
interpretation of this movie than you
I think you do,
guys.
because there are points where she is directly, where the manager Rumi is directly responsible for the murders, and it's not just she's psychologically manipulating this fan guy.
Yeah, into killing people for her.
But
she's pretending to
she
be
at points. But there are points where she does kill people herself.
Yeah, like she stabs the guy in the eye with a screwdriver.
She does kill the photographer herself.
Really?
And then we're led to believe that it is Nima who kills the photographer because, of course, we see the image of Perfect Nima killing the man, but it's in fact, as we learn, Rumi.
Okay, the last person, yes. The first two were the security guard, right?
That's the one in the elevator when the boombox explodes in the elevator.
Sorry, we're making this all very confusing. So the whole time that Mima is making this transition, she's starting to notice that there's a guy that keeps popping up where she's at. He's very creepy looking. He's young. He was in the opening scene at her concert, and he is an obsessed fan. And you are very strongly given the impression that all the terrible things that are happening to her are happening because of him. That he is trying to harm her in some way.
Yeah, and in a way they are, because at the same time she's noticing that online there is someone claiming to be her, that she is being forced to do these things, or that it is in fact a double who is doing these things meant to ruin her. And so she's basically being driven slowly insane. And of course, the person making this account is the disturbed individual who is the security guard, but is potentially being influenced also by her manager.
Oh my god, this is the most difficult movie to talk about ever.
Yes,
shit.
don't you see why I was worried about us talking about this?
It makes perfect sense now. This is so deeply convoluted. Let's try and shy away from story.
I don't think
specifics
I don't know
here.
if it's necessarily. I don't.
It's not convoluted. It actually all lines up very well. It's very well crafted. I just mean it's very difficult to explain.
It's very labyrinthine and
it's elaborate.
Yeah, if you want to like talk about like we should. Because I think we just kind of jumped in and tried to like jump in and like solve it like at the end.
Yes.
From where
Well,
we got to start
some shit that just like I was so deeply confused by that I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like let's.
Yeah, but it's like it's like
I mean, it is a confusing movie until it is all wrapped up and there is that one.
Well,
twist
I have questions about the last scene, the very last scene. I think that is the thing I don't fully understand. You're the whole time she's shooting this show, and we're it's kind of suggested a few times throughout the narrative that the show is reality and that what we're watching is some sort of farce in one way or another. And I find myself questioning like where the story ends and begins as far as Mima is concerned.
Well, I mean, I think that most of the movie is like trying to reckon with like the differences between like your perceptions of what is reality, what is fictional.
Right.
Because there's a lot of shots where there's some scenes like when she's like shooting the show where it'll be like looking like a transition shot of her like walking through the street, someone comes up to talk to her, and then they're like, and cut, and then we realize that was not her real life, it was her filming a thing on the show. And it's like subtle little things like that where it's like that make you question. And then also once we get into, I mean, there's later on, I don't want to say like a montage, but there's like a series of scenes where the scene ends with her like getting hit by that truck and then waking up the next day.
Right.
And then it's like, and usually when those scenes end, they're like, and take two. So almost like every new take is like her waking up again. And it's like, you have
to really wonder, you have to really doubt the perspective here, because like Mima is like coming in and out of consciousness essentially. Like she doesn't seem to be on like normal schedules, and she's losing track of time, and she thinks she's repeating days, and we need to kind of decide for ourselves to what extent like any of those days. It's heavily indicated several times that what we see is actually just a dream, but we don't know if that was waking or real life because Mima herself doesn't seem to know, and we don't have any more evidence than she does. God, this is fucking. Whew.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through.
Yeah,
with this one.
God damn, this is a really it's very layered, the whole the whole plot is it's
Yeah,
a lot.
I mean, honestly, like I know we're making it sound like, oh, this is a test, but it's like I enjoy like
Yeah.
thinking about it this much because like again we don't get movies like this on the show that often. Most movies we get are like, and then the guy killed her, and then
Yeah,
the ransom
and
thing.
stupid and predictable, and also like they're usually like more popular. Like I worry that like I'm sure most people that listen to the show don't watch the movies before they listen to the episode. So I worry that like this might not be an easy episode to watch or listen to if you haven't seen the movie. Let me take this opportunity to recommend you should be watching that movie already if you haven't. It's fantastic. I promise you it's worth it.
Yeah, it's
Even
not
if you
as-
don't love it, you're gonna at least appreciate it.
It's not as
Probably.
daunting or as intimidating as we're making it sound.
No, it's very, very cool though, and like with like gorgeous animation. Like,
Yeah, I think-
really beautiful.
It does look good. It does have a very kind of like 90s anime kind of look to it, where it does look a little bit.
I fucking love that.
No,
shit.
yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
like the late 80s.
like it looks. Some of
anime.
it can look a
Like
little
the
stiff
same way
and-
that kind of like Akira looks, where it's like
Yeah.
it borders that realism and that style.
I just watched Akira for like the first time like all the way through and realized I completely did not understand what that story was about. Like I thought it was a completely different plot line, and now that I've seen it all at once in
Yeah,
sequence.
because Akira is like the first half is like a cool like cyberpunk like neo crime movie, and then the last half is like big anime monster bullshit. Like
I don't know, it's pretty rad anime monster bullshit. I
It's
gotta
pretty,
say.
yeah.
I will say though, like because I feel like what can sometimes be intimidating about anime is like because a lot of those like anime tropes can be very alienating to Westerners if you're not like used to that.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes
I
I feel like with Akira, like if you're not on board for like that crazy anime like monster movie like type of thing,
Yeah.
that you'll really turned off. This is a movie that like I don't feel like there is any worry that like this is gonna be like it does not veer into any anime tropes as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned in like a
Well,
visual style or like nobody's eyes are popping out, nobody's turning
very,
red. Like
it's very grounded for what it is.
Say though that as far as her fantasies, delusions, whatever go, seeing manic pixie
Right,
girl
yeah.
skipping across street lights and whatever
Like
and
if
giggling.
there was a live action version of this, there would be some special effects certainly, but like they
Yeah.
they would be easily like incorporated into the world. Like this would be an easy movie to make live
Well,
action. Not that it
yeah.
even should.
if you want to talk about a live action interpretation of this movie, then I
Don't.
think the movie that you should be looking at is Black Swan, because
Yeah.
Darren Aronofsky has been very vocal about how influential this specific movie is on his career. I
Yeah.
believe he bought the rights, the American filming rights to this movie, because in Requiem for a Dream, he recreates the shot of her, like the overhead shot of her huddled over in the bathtub and then like screaming underwater. He does that exact thing in
Huh.
Requiem for a Dream, like the same angle. Like,
I don't remember that at all. That's awesome.
yeah, and then Black Swan is kind of similar because in that movie, Nina, is like, she's like being haunted by like her like the visual representation of like what like her
Yeah.
persona is, and it's like
Yeah.
haunting her, and then
and it's Mila Kunis.
Well,
and
Mila
it's
Kunis is her
that's it.
rival, but
Not-
she's...
you were going anywhere with
No,
that?
no, I'm just helping you out, buddy. I'm just helping you
But
get
in
there.
that
It's Mila
film,
Kunis.
she is someone who,
Looks
like
it.
Nima, is very dedicated to her work and loses kind of herself in it to the point that she might not be the same person on the other side.
No, yeah. But yeah, so, and I feel like with this movie, like a lot of it is very, like from a visual perspective, it's kind of like, yeah, it does look a little bit like, I'd say a little more muted as far as the color pattern goes. Like I wanted, because
There's no like people with blue hair for no reason like roaming around in this anime world. Which,
Yeah, and I
which
think
that right away I was like, oh, like
No.
yeah, this is really.
But I also do
realistic.
feel like
They're
that's
really
probably the
nailing it.
reason why like there's a lot of cinematic influence from like Darren Aronofsky, and I believe there's stuff that Christopher Nolan lifted
Yeah.
from Paprika for Inception. Like I feel like there was a reason why this has like a very like cinematic Western like appeal, like, because this is like, it's not like anime stuff. It feels like it's like really cinematically like.
Yeah, I mean it's pound for pound a good movie, and that's why I bring the live action comparison, because like there's nothing that in this that couldn't be done reasonably in a live action film, and for that reason I think it should be judged similarly, because it's just like a fantastic thriller and psychological horror movie, I guess.
I mean, I would say the same goes for it, though, that you can name any number of movies that Perfect Blue also takes inspiration from, be it giallos or psychological thrillers, or, you know.
Yeah, but like, have you seen anything like that precedes this that's like quite like it? Like, I can't think of anything that is as.
I mean, you know, things like I don't think anyone skipping over lampposts or whatever, but I think, you know, as stalkers or people with dual identities or whatever go, you know, there's numerous Hitchcock films, there's some Argento films, there's
it's clearly very inspired by Hitchcock stuff.
Yeah.
In the trailer, there was the critic quote that said, "It's like if Alfred Hitchcock and Walt Disney made a movie,"
Roger Corman,
which clearly means it's like, we know one animated company. They make every anime.
Yeah, I mean, it shows definitely that. Well, again, I mean, that's Roger Corman, who's been making movies since like the 50s and had to have been old at this point, and it's amazing he's still alive now, I think.
It's amazing anyone's still alive.
I know, it's crazy. But, you know, it shows kind of the limited idea of what animation was in America, especially at that time, let alone, you know, probably what we think of today. But
yeah, no, I mean, certainly. And no one was putting out frequency and quality quite like Disney was. But I don't think there's been an American animated film that's ever done what this kind of does. I think it helps to know the ending of the movie when watching this. And this is not me like saying like go spoil it for yourself, but like I liked it so much more on the second watch through, I think, because I wasn't trying to figure out like who was hurting who and who was doing these things and what real and what wasn't. I was just kind of like taking it all in and meditating a little bit more on like the themes and shit and why than I was about like the logistics of the story and how it all comes together until that fucking last like minute of the film that I can't quite piece together. Did you guys find yourselves I know you've only seen it once, but did you find yourself like a little bit more freed up watching it a second time?
No, because I think that on the second time, kind of knowing that like the first half of the movie is pretty sound and logical and reasonable, but then like as you like in the second half there's a lot more of like reality bending stuff and like, you know, like being like, you know, disassociated from like what is real and whatever. So I feel like knowing that that's where it's gonna go, I was able to like, you know, look at all of the places that it was going and like see like how it thematically fits. Like this, like, because once I realized when I was after watching, I was like, oh, it's about like, you know, the separation of like reality from fiction and like questioning like your reality, and then like once I was like, you know, going into that last half where it was like, you know, days were repeating and like, you know, things were happening, I was able to be like, oh, okay, so I was able to see like how each of it fit in there. And because there's scenes that when they happen, like there's some scenes that are like filmed, like they're being filmed for the movie set, and then like when you redo them again, you see like that those same exact shots that were being shot for the movie, but they're like, you know, in like quote real time, like realistic.
Yeah. It's sorry, continue, Jack. You seem you were gonna say something.
No, I mean, I hadn't seen this before, but I think the one thing that kind of took it down for me was I could kind of see where it was going, and then there were moments where it was like misdirecting me, and I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna actually do this thing, I guess. But at the end of the day, it did do exactly what I thought it was going to, and so I think that might be why it didn't work quite as well for me.
I feel so. You felt it didn't feel specifically new to you.
No, yeah. And I also have a real love for, you know, like I said, Hitchcock, Argento. I have like a unhealthy love for like psychological thrillers and whatever. So it's like I could kind of see like someone's pretending this and that, and
right. That's
and
also a really good
I
point
think
because I like don't watch a lot of, and I'm over here saying like, oh, it seems like very unique and specific at the time.
Right.
But yeah, you've definitely had that experience of watching a bunch of movies exactly like this, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I think just the other thing is there was some stuff. I mean, I think this especially goes for dubs, and it's probably why people rightly, and I always thought this too, but I think I just wasn't in the mood to watch the sub, but rightly say, dubs are kind of inferior, is that I feel like, especially with dialogue and things like that, subtlety is not something anime technically usually goes for. And even though this one does it much better than any other number of its contemporaries, there were points where people were saying things in a certain tone and just giving like hints that I was kind of like, oh, I can see where this is going.
No, yeah, I mean,
And-
I could definitely feel you on that one, because there's a lot of scenes where it's like her the image of like the pop star self is like telling her like, haha, you're never gonna be as good as me.
Yeah.
Don't you wish you were like me? And I'm like, I get it, like it's kind of on the nose in that way.
Yeah.
Again, better than most anime where they are like, everything is like spouted out exactly what every character
Yeah.
is thinking in that
I
moment.
just watched
Right.
Demon Slayer and I wanted like it's good.
Yeah.
There's great stuff in it, but like the worst parts of it is like all like the super anime-y stuff.
Yeah.
Where it is just spouting exposition like in the middle of a fight for no fucking reason.
Yeah, and I also think that there
Yeah.
is a way that can go a little too overboard, where I feel
Yeah.
like I'm in like the last couple episodes of watching Neon Genesis Evangelion, and there comes a point in that show where like the last 4 or 5 episodes are like they're like kind of so abstract that I'm like, I kind of wish it was gonna spell out a little things a little bit more for me. Like I feel like and I know Jacob is a big Neon Genesis fan, but so I feel like I need to like think more about it, or like watch, or like sit with the last couple episodes a little bit more before jumping into like the end of Evangelion movie, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's gonna get lost on me.
Hey chat, if you're
Yeah.
if you're still out there, let us know your anime recommendations. What are you watching? What do you think kind of
Movies,
stands out?
series,
Whatever you
movie
got.
series.
Yeah.
So I want to also just talk about this from like a cinematography standpoint. Not so
It's
much.
a beautiful looking film.
Yeah, and it seems like all of the shots that they got are things you can do with a camera, like in real life. Nothing feels out of place or otherworldly. Like you can logistically see like how the camera would fit in the space that they're in, which is like not a thing you see all the time
Yeah.
with animation. Like you have a lot of like wild tracking shots as they're going up and down and following through and all that nonsense, because there is no actual space or time, and you have to fit things in places.
Yeah,
But it's really cool to see, and I think that might be like what subconsciously is like hitting me and making this stand out as far as anime goes, is that like little extra layer of realism on it.
Yeah, and I think in the and also like the shots have like you could like decipher like thematic meaning from them. Like I think in the Super Eye Patch Wolf, he brings up the shot in the beginning of the movie when Cham is performing and the creepy stalker guy has his hand out, and then it's framed from like his perspective of seeing like her dancing like in his hand, and so it's like go to like this metaphor, this theme that like he is like control, or he has like he has his like hand like in her his image, her image in his hand, like that. Like, am I making sense?
She belongs to him.
Slowly.
She's his possession. That's what it.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
We have Tab in the chat, who I didn't even realize was here. Hey, Tab. Welcome. Tab from Test Pattern. Says, my biggest recommendation would be Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Damn, that is like Giallo levels of long title. It's heartbreaking, and it's also not something that's ridiculously long. There's one season and a follow-up movie. All right, I'm down for that. I like those manageable things. I tried getting into One Piece recently, and I made it about 100 chapters in. And then
Chapters? You were reading it?
Oh, I was reading it. I'm not one of you fucking pussies. Yeah.
Illiterate. No.
You fucking illiterate. Yeah, I was reading. I read 100 chapters, and I like realized that I have to do that 10 more times to even like get close to catching up, and I quit. But I was enjoying it. But one season in a movie, I can manage one season in a movie. So Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, an official tab recommendation for you right there.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe a TV Boys episode. Who knows? Lord, let's hear what the Furbies think of all this.
Furbies are Japanese, right?
No way. Get
Probably.
out.
Wow.
You should have had them sing the Cham song.
Really, it really makes you think. You know, how lucky we all are.
What if the rainbow Furby's just telling the gray one it's a loser all the time?
We have another
Just like
anime
the-
recommendation in chat here. Omarosa says,
Chris Amorosa, good friend of Steven Pisacano.
friend of the show. The anime Another is really good, only like 13 episodes. Very good. The light novel is even better for it. Also, Serial Experiments Lane is good and has similar vibes to Perfect Blue. All right.
Oh.
If you want to be able to read that yourselves, because I am also an illiterate, apparently, you can go to twitch.tv/rmroulette even after the fact, watch the rerun of the live stream, and you can see what's going on in the chat as well. It's a fun little benefit of going to twitch.tv/rmroulette and subscribing to us. We really appreciate it. Okay, there's so much more I want to talk about here. Did you guys see the final twist, which I think is the reveal of Rumi as the Mimi
Nima.
Mimsy, her as her doppelganger. Did you guys predict that? Because I'm dumb and I did not at all.
I mean, I didn't forget it, but I could see it coming, because that's basically the thing I was talking about. There's so many scenes where she is vehemently against this new direction for Nima, and when she just breaks down crying and whatever, and they talk about her history, and I'm just like, it's going to be her, because I was like, it's kind of weird if they just reveal it's only the security guard who obviously looks creepy and stuff right away. I feel like then there was no mystery, and so I kind of saw that part coming. I think that's what I was kind of... I didn't expect... I don't know if she dressed up all the time like that, or if...
Yeah, I didn't think of that, because if she's
and
just
she's
running
not
around
like
dressed like that.
Yeah, well, and I mean, there's some points where obviously it's just, in Nima's head and whatever, like when she has her doppelganger in her apartment saying, like, you're nothing, whatever. That's just like a representation of her fears and anxieties. But when, like, it's the doppelganger talking to the computer guy or whatever, like, that's clearly Rumi working with this creepo Orochimaru. Is that the name of the bad guy from Naruto?
Yeah.
He looks like that bad guy, Orochimaru. Yeah.
Yeah, well, all the bad people, their eyes are farther apart for some reason.
Their eyes are far apart. Their hair is long. They all look like Marilyn Manson.
They're not conventionally attractive. Satoshi Kon hates ugly people. Here we are. Fucking defend it. If you think I'm wrong, fucking come at me. Don't, please. I don't want any of the smoke.
I don't know if I want to talk about...
If Satoshi Kon was still making movies, Lewis, you would be the next bad guy.
Oh, wow. Come on. Didn't we decide that if he was... Jack, didn't we decide that if he was an anime character, he would be that one from Memories who's just a fat guy who farts all the time? Was that...
Who farts an entire city to death?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me, 100%. Yeah. God. I live an illustrious life, everyone.
Yeah. What anime character would Jack be?
Which anime
I'm trying to think of one that's not a hate crime. Uncle Iroh?
It's okay to say James from Pokemon.
No.
No.
Little. Yeah, but no.
Porco Rosso. I'm sorry. That was mean.
Who's Porco Rosso?
Welcome to the Friends Hurt Each Other's Feelings.
He's a lovable
podcast.
he's a lovable Studio Ghibli character played by Michael Keaton, and he's a pig man who flies bomber planes in World War II for Italy.
You kind of buried the lead there a little bit,
Yeah.
throwing Pigman at the end. But
Next time I see him, Mike's going to be the little girl that melts in Grave of the Fireflies.
Wow, okay.
I haven't seen Grave of the Fireflies yet, and now I'm gonna be waiting the whole movie for that little girl to get melted.
Do you know what that movie is about?
Yeah,
Lou?
I know.
Okay.
It's bad stuff. It's
Yeah.
very dark, but I've never seen it, and now I guess I don't have to. All right.
Jack would be Totoro. We all know that. He's big and cuddly.
I think when I had my car, I was Cat Bus, because I would just cart you fuckers around all the time.
Is this the point where I have to admit that I've never seen a Studio Ghibli film,
Oh my
even
God.
though I have all of it on HBO Max?
None of
Yeah.
it.
I've seen none.
Is
Nada.
it- is it
I've
because
seen
of
maybe
some
a
sort of
clip
bias,
from
or-
Ponyo once.
What?
Ponyo's a Studio Ghibli
Yeah.
film, right?
I like
Yeah.
Ponyo.
I saw a clip with Betty White and Ponyo.
Oh, you saw a clip of Ponyo. Okay, so you didn't see
Yeah.
Ponyo either.
I didn't see Ponyo. I didn't
Oh.
see a kid turn into a goldfish or
I
vice
saw-
versa.
Well, I would say, Jack, I mean, Spirited Away is obviously like, a must. But I would recommend for. What do you mean? What are you giving me that?
No, I'm kidding. I like it a lot. I'm not quite as crazy about
No.
it as everyone else.
But I would say, as far as like for what Jack like his style of film, they like. I think he would really like Porco Rosso. Like it's
Yeah, I
kind
can
of
see
a
that.
war movie.
I've
and
never
Michael
seen
Keaton-
all of that one. I've only seen a clip with Betty White of that one too. But
Brad Garrett's in that one. He plays like a bandit, like a pirate, and he's like yelling like, "Porco Rosso, I'm coming to get you!" Like,
Guys, friend of the show, Brad Garrett.
We love Brad Garrett so much.
What if Brad
Everybody's
Garrett just
okay
popped
with
up there?
Robert.
That's what I was hoping for. Little Brad Garrett.
But what was I going to say?
What were you?
I
Gonna
also
say?
haven't seen Okja.
It's not
I know
an anime
Okja's not
film.
an anime movie,
It's
but it
not
feels
an-
It's
like
not
it
even
could be.
Japanese.
it's not even.
I know,
Nobody
but
drew
it
anything
feels
for
so
that
cute
movie.
that
Yeah,
it could
fucking.
be.
Why are we talking about Ocha? I haven't seen Forrest Gump. What the fuck are we just naming movies we haven't seen now?
I'm just saying, it's a Bong movie.
Yes, a famous
We were
anime
supposed
director
to
Bong
legally see
Joon-ho.
all his movies.
And Parasite is my favorite anime.
Parasite is. I've seen the anime Parasite.
Did it
It's
is that?
spelled with a Y instead of an
I
I.
would because I was thinking I was like, you know what, an anime adaptation of Parasite would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
There's a name for Korean anime, like specifically. It should be whatever that is. As far as Perfect Blue goes, we've thoroughly spoiled the movie, so no more concerns.
Yeah.
As far as that
I don't
goes.
know if
I will
I-
say that
I can
rape
tell you,
scene is
though, it's-
very hard to sit
Yeah, because
through.
I was gonna bring up. I was like, I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about it, but I was gonna bring up like, I
No.
do want to like touch on like that
I
scene.
appreciate
specific-
that the guy apologized.
No, it's not.
I
It's
appreciate that he-
it was not. It's not like it was not his fault. The thing is like because she
No,
needs
I know it's brutal. I was
Yeah.
just
She
needs
saying
to-
that to say that.
yeah, 'cause
it's
they-
a
Imagine,
hard
I mean,
scene to
that's
watch.
for like a network TV show too,
Yeah.
or like whatever the
Yeah.
equivalent of that is in Japan. Like, could you fucking imagine turning on NBC and seeing that shit happen? Like, there's a whole show on NBC about serving justice to people who have been raped, and they don't show rape on the show. Like
They-
Law
I
and
mean,
Order
they show,
SVU
like,
is pretty
the-
light on the actual rape part.
Yeah, and I don't know
Yeah,
if
they show like the terrifying build-up stuff though.
They do.
Sometimes.
They have ton of that. But
Yeah.
like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
it's the actual like
Yeah,
full blown thing, and the fact that they have to do another take is like heartbreaking for me.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
'cause that's
When he
another-
calls that I
yeah,
get really
because that's
fucked
like the
up.
first instance of which like the reality bleeding in the fiction bleeding into reality, because it's like even though she's not really being raped, like and like the guy says he's like I'm sorry, and it's like they're filming it for
Yeah.
like a scene. It's like it can still be sexually traumatizing because like they are actually like groping her
It's-
and like
she
ripping her
has to
clothes
yeah.
off and thrusting into her. So even though she's not literally like being raped, it's still like that's why she has that breakdown at the end because
Right.
she's still like being
And for
sexually
what it's worth,
traumatized.
I
by
have
it.
no issue. Like I feel no specific type of way of like actresses in general like being a part of things and they have to put themselves in compromising positions for movies. Like I totally get that, and like that doesn't bother me. It's just this movie makes it so clear that A, she is not comfortable doing this. B, she's being kind of coerced into doing this, and C, she's before this been very, very sheltered and been like made to like hold a very wholesome and perfect image. So it's a big shift for her, and like that it like inherently feels abusive and terrible, even though like I don't think that's necessarily the case for every time a woman is in similarly compromising positions for a role.
I mean, I it's been a minute since I actually watched the movie. I don't remember her if it was necessarily something that she was totally opposed to. I think she was trying to be, a good sport, and
she
not
was trying
like,
to be accommodating to her agents.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
like she
and
seemed
then
uncomfortable.
Really,
but, like,
I would
I'll
say
do
there
it.
was more trauma that came to her than worry that she had going in. But it's a powerful scene.
Yeah.
It's,
And I think it's like the benefit of it actually like not being a real rape scene for the movie that we are watching makes it a little bit easier to stomach, because it's not like it's not like we have to deal with the ramifications of having like a real rape scene in this movie and being shown in that graphic of a detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also like didn't expect the amount of nudity in this movie the first time I watched it. I was really surprised by that, because I mean I think of there's always that joke about like Japanese porn always has like all like the bits censored. So like to see like full frontal nudity in an animated Japanese film was like pretty surprising to me. I don't think I've seen that in a feature length thing. I wasn't masturbating.
I think I've seen it. No, I think I've seen a full frontal nudity. And that is an interesting thing to bring up, because I think I have seen full frontal nudity like in a Japanese feature too, but like I don't think.
Oh, in a Japanese
I'm not
feature,
too familiar with
yeah.
porn. Yeah.
But for
anime, I feel like it's specifically like I know in most anime like they don't even like the romantic leads to kiss. Like that's a thing, and not just for kids anime. So like seeing affection at all is surprising, let alone like full frontal nudity and then like graphic sex scenes, rape scenes.
I mean, I was just saying it's more interesting that it can be shown, nudity and stuff can somehow be shown in films, but not in pornography in Japan. It
seems to be the case. That's very, very strange to me. But I think is another thing that like I don't think is done for like the sake of having nudity in a movie. Like it serves such a great purpose, because it's such a perfect demonstration of her perceived like loss of innocence.
Yeah, and also the reason for why the obsessive fan is so
pushed
like
overboard.
Yeah, because it's like she's like, she's not who she really seems to be. She's become like this like over sexualized. She's not like the pure being that like he's built up in her head, and it's like she's tainted now.
Yeah, and I mean like this is a real thing that like J-pop stars apparently like have to deal with.
Dude, you ever see any girl on any social media site say that she has a boyfriend?
Oh my god, yeah, that shit's terrible. It's like I was watching a stream of some Twitch streamer built a person in Unreal Engine 3 and operates it with like a $30,000 motion capture suit. It's super interesting. But she was interviewing someone saying, like, as a woman on streams, like, if you announce that you're dating someone, you lose like 20% of the people like subscribing to you or following to you, as if the only reason that those people were subscribing to you is because they thought they had a chance.
As it,
which is insane. Like, an insane line of thinking. That's just so upsetting to me deeply. But like, you can kind of see like that feeling of like ownership and entitlement that like men can have for famous women, and like I think this movie demonstrates it so perfectly. Like multiple people seem to feel entitled to her own self-image and like her own morals, which is like fucking terrible.
Yeah, because it's also like it's almost like the image of like her perfect like pop star being is more important than like who the actual person is, like who they're actually hurting.
Tab in the chat here says, quote, that basically really happened in the 80s to an actress named Rebecca Schaefer. She was on a sitcom, then started doing movies, and a crazy guy who was obsessed with her showed up at her house and killed her. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's
really
also
terrible.
like it's also kind of like the same thing with what was his name, who killed John Lennon, who did it because he thought that Jodie Foster
that
would.
fuckface. Yeah, to fucking, because he thought he had a shot with Jodie Foster, and when he found out he didn't, he was like, "But that's crazy. I
No,
like Jodie
wait.
Foster."
That's not the Jodie Foster. The guy Hinckley shot Reagan because he thought he had a shot with Jodie Foster.
Okay.
Oh my god, you're so correct. I just went right down that road.
Yeah,
That's so funny. Mark is in the chat.
I do not know or
Cool.
remember.
Tab just said that
Why?
was the guy who killed Reagan.
You killed Reagan.
No, he
He's
didn't
just the
kill
worst.
Reagan. He shot Reagan. Reagan was not killed. He was shot. He was not killed.
I'm sure she knows that. We're all very shook up
Yes.
right now, okay? It's a trying time here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? You were completely correct. We were not capable of talking about this movie.
Can you
Tab,
believe
don't you
Lee
dare
Harvey
apologize. You do
Oswald
not need to
killed Lincoln
apologize. You're
because he
wonderful.
had a
Thank you.
shot with Jodie Foster?
Who's Jodie Foster even?
Yeah, you know what is weird?
I'll say it.
There's a back to the movie. There's a reference in the scene when they're asking her to perform the rape scene. Some guy says to her, he's like, "Yeah, you could do it. That Jodie, what's her name, did it." And it's the reference to Jodie Foster in The Accused.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah, someone
Yeah,
says
but
that.
Lewis, I also have a question for you.
Okay.
Why is Jodie Foster?
Ah, shit. Really makes you think, guys. Food for thought.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, we got real deep here on
Or maybe we didn't. Maybe we were just rambling.
I really don't think we did. I mean, I think this is a movie that is both in... I don't want to call it... It's not basic. But it is straightforward and yet so hard to describe without just experiencing it. It is an experience of a movie.
Jack, it sounds like you have like
For
a
better or for
roast
worse.
brewing up inside of you that you want to like unload on this movie.
I really don't, because that's the thing. I think I watched this just a while ago and we had to put it off due to certain reasons, and I'm just like swirling with thoughts and just like half memories and half my feelings from the movie and half of just the afterthought, and it's a crazy movie. I can't
it's
deny
insane,
that.
and it really sticks with you, and it's very thought-provoking. I definitely took a lot more of it this time, and I think I'll probably be like thinking about it and chewing on it more. I do just want to talk about, before we wrap up, the last shot of the movie. Not the last shot, I guess, the last scene. The stalker, Rumi has been like apprehended. She's now in some sort of, I don't know, asylum, but assisted living of some kind. And who I think is Mima, walks in, gets the status report, and she now has long hair, by the way, to show that time has passed. Gets the status report. You can see the people who happen to be in the facility are kind of recognizing her, so she's accrued some sort of fame. She walks out, and I can't think of the name they say, but two girls are talking. Is that really... They name a celebrity, and it's a name from the show she was shooting, of a character from the show she was shooting, that turned out to be the actual identity of her character.
Yeah, so, I mean, because...
No,
Yes, 100% sure.
No, when they said, "Oh, is that so-and-so?" That's like the same thing. Like, if you see Mark Harmon walking down the street, someone would just say, "Oh, is that Gibbs from NCIS or whatever?"
Shit.
No, but it's again,
it's not that deep.
Mistaking the fictional version of someone for
Right.
who they really are.
Right.
Or who knows,
But
maybe
I'm
this
just saying,
could
I
be
think
part of the
Lewis-
show.
But I don't think it's part of the show, and I think because her character in the show is not famous, and that's so no one would recognize her if she was her character in the show. People recognize her as her character from the
That's
show
true.
because the show took off and became popular, and she became popular as that character.
That makes so much more sense. I took it so literally,
Yeah.
I think, when I read it in the subtitles, but I guess that inflection probably helps a lot. All right. Guys, that was Perfect Blue. I fucking adore this movie. It is 5 out of 5 Kino. We did a horrible job explaining it. Even though we spoiled the whole thing, you'd probably get a lot of enjoyment out of watching it from beginning to end. I really, really recommend going to check it out if you have not yet. And sorry if we ruined it for you if you haven't watched it yet. But it's
Sorry if
great.
this is your favorite movie and all of our theories
Yeah.
are wrong and you're yelling at us and you're like, how do these idiots miss this? Like,
Yeah. if you're thinking like
I
I don't
am-
deserve to talk about this movie, you're right.
Yeah, I'm certain
but-
about 90% of people who like this movie would not like us
No, yeah, that's
after
probably
this.
correct.
But
Yeah, well, good thing they all have anime profile pictures. Fucking fucked. Hate anime profile pictures. I don't trust you guys. What are you hiding? What are you hiding under all that anime? All right.
You think that like Fluttershy is gonna be your boyfriend? Like,
All right, why don't we talk about what we're going to be watching next week?
all right. So
What
the
are
so the
options?
so the 6 movies that we have lined up for next week are number 1, Zombie 3 by Lucio Fulci, probably the only watchable movie that he's ever made, and it's because it is just an absolute shit fest.
You know, I've been weirdly nostalgic for the New York Ripper lately. I'll just say that. Continue.
I'm nostalgic for the
You
Beyond because of the
disgust
Bachelor
me.
Party, but.
Oh.
Number 2 is a movie called The Last Horror Film, which
Would be a real new one to us. Never heard of it before.
number
this.
number 3
and
is
it is
Yep. Jack.
no. I was gonna say it is the last horror film we will ever cover on this podcast.
Yeah.
As if. Number 3, Krampus. Number 4 is Begin Again. The only like ray of sunshine in between all of this like blood and murder that we have on this list. Number 5 is Night of the Creeps, and number 6 is The Baby.
Da Baby.
The Baby, the Baby.
Da
The baby.
So now,
Music recording artist Da Baby.
all right. So rundown: Zombie 3, The Last Horror Film, Krampus, Begin Again, Night of the Creeps, and The Baby. And the winner is number 3, which is Krampus.
right.
2 months late after Christmas,
Yeah.
but we're finally getting to
It's gonna be like a Valentine's
some
Day
holiday
episode.
cheer with Krampus.
Ooh-wee. All right. Well, I love this movie, and
Yeah.
kind of appropriate because a sequel to that director's movie is coming out in March.
Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Whose side are you taking?
Oh, Godzilla, hands down.
I want the monkey.
No, I want to watch Godzilla eat King Kong and shit him out.
Yeah, I don't like this Kong. I'm going for Godzilla.
Yeah.
I don't like this Godzilla either. Like,
Fuck you. I, mean,
I
the
at
movies
least
are
like
bad.
that Godzilla's to scale. Kong is weirdly sized. I don't like it.
He's just big now. Fucking deal with it.
What if-
Right?
what
He's
if-
gotta fight Godzilla? So shut up. He's big.
I wanted to see him carry Brie Larson up a building.
wait, who directed this movie? Is it Adam Wingard?
Adam
Peter
Wingard,
Jackson.
so it's
Oh.
not even
It's that.
freaking.
It's the King Kong from Peter Jackson's King
Yeah,
Kong.
I like that movie.
I don't remember it well enough.
It's good.
It's long. I remember that.
Yeah. No, but I was gonna
Yeah.
say, wait, did Adam Wingard direct Krampus?
No.
No.
Michael Dougherty.
Oh, is he doing Kong?
Michael
vs.
Dougherty-
I thought that Adam Wingard.
No.
I,
Dougherty
said it was a
did
sequel.
King of the
oh, okay,
Monsters.
okay, because Adam Wingard's doing
Yes.
Kong versus Godzilla. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. All right.
Fucking get it together.
Yeah.
Okay? God. All right. Well, we will be back very, very shortly
With
here
Krampus,
on-
a movie that is more suited for our liking.
That is not what I'm talking about, but that's also true. We'll be back.
He's also talking about TV Boys.
Yeah, TV Boys. We're going to be doing it for everyone. It's not going to be behind a paywall this time. So if you're not on Patreon, you'll still be able to see it. If you're watching this after the fact, it will be on our YouTube channel uploaded alongside this episode. If you are watching this live right now and you're not a patron, just stick around on twitch.tv/RMRoulette, and we're going to be going live again in a little bit with our discussion of WandaVision, which I think there will be some surprising opinions of, and surprisingly a lot to talk about. So,
Yeah.
plug it up, boys. What's going on?
Oh, I'm just Jack on 35mm on Instagram and Jack Patterson on Letterboxd.
I am RMR Cyborg Mike on Twitter and Instagram and on Letterboxd, and I write on beforethecyborgs.com where I write reviews, and that's about it for right now.
I am at Louis J. Otero on Twitter, and we are all at RM Roulette. You can find me on Instagram at RM Roulette Lewis. On Letterboxd, I think it's just Louis Otero, one word. Not positive about that. You can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/RM Roulette. If you like what you see in that WandaVision episode, consider throwing us a few bones. $5 and up a month gets access to TV Boys. which is a very, very fun bonus show that we both really, really like. We got some exciting stuff coming to you very, very soon. Keep an eye on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe. We have something kind of YouTube exclusive going up on the 30th, and it's something brand new that we've never done before, and it's exciting new chapter for RMR. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. For everyone watching live, Mark, Tab, Chris, I think someone else was in there, but I could be wrong. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to us. For everyone tuning in and downloading later, we fucking love and appreciate you too. We'll be back very soon with TV Boys.